Right, I didn't plan on making this video, but I'm now here at the Bay Area in Shenzhen. So people are chilling, it's a holiday today. I'm just walking around here, and one topic that came to my mind where I can make a spontaneous video about is the matter of battery swapping by NIO and what it could mean for solid state batteries or hybrid solid state batteries. So I can make that top of my mind without any further planning, and at the same time I can show you a little bit, like, you know, this green environment here in the back. There's some sort of a design museum actually with nice restaurants in there. You see the water, a bit of Sherco district, and actually the mountains on the other side here that you're seeing, this is Hong Kong. So I'm now here in mainland China in Shenzhen, and then there's Hong Kong over there. And by the way, there's a train that is going, of course you can take the ferry, you can go with buses and cars, you can take the subway, but there's also a bullet train going from another district here in Shenzhen, Futian, and it's only taking 15 minutes to downtown Hong Kong. So this is parts of the amazing infrastructure here. But now coming back to the video topic, which is about NIO and hybrid solid state batteries, but it's also an infrastructure topic, right? And it seems like this is what China is great at, infrastructure, building stuff, like the houses and the trains and stuff. And you know, it's also part of the NIO story, because they of course invested a lot into infrastructure in terms of providing battery swap stations and also charging. Let's not always forget that NIO is also about fast charging. For example, they have the 500 kilowatt fast chargers, faster than, for example, some other brands out there. But Shen Fei, the NIO Power president or VP, he basically said the limiting factor is not this, you know, the charger speed and this technology speed, what can actually be provided on the ground at the location from the charger. Because, for example, if there are many cars at the charging point, then this will suppress the charging speed of every car that is charging. Or you know, there might be an issue with the cable, or there might be an issue with you know, there's not enough peak power at the supercharger. So there's lots of different ways how charging speed can be affected. And one way of solving that is battery swapping, because it's essentially providing also a way of balancing the grid, meaning it's helping to stabilize, it's providing some more peak power, because the batteries inside of the battery swap station can also be used in order to provide local power or feeding power into the grid. So there are many ways how battery swap stations already play in this ecosystem of energy storage and charging infrastructure, and that's what NIO is building and investing in. Of course, right now it's not a business case yet, but I'm always pointing out how it might be a viable business case in the future, because they can of course charge for the charging, they can charge for the energy arbitrage trading, or they can make money on that, and of course it can also drive down the cost, and there are many other ways of making money from the subscription. So that's on the battery swapping as a business case side. Now, what I think is unique to this battery swapping and separation of the battery and the vehicle, even more on top of what I've just talked about, is about the topic of introducing new technology in the EV space. So we have the topic of that at some point in time, maybe solid state batteries or hybrid solid state batteries might become a thing. So this technology is not yet ready yet, and most importantly, it's way too expensive, right? So how can you introduce such a technology? And I think NIO might have a unique advantage there in the future. First of all, NIO has planned for a 150 kilowatt hour battery, which has been delayed, unfortunately. So it was to be released in Q4 last year. That didn't happen. But they have invested, or they own parts of a company, which is the battery company WeLion. I uncovered this with some filings, and they are doing this. So they are ramping already the production, the pre-production, and it looks like this is getting closer and closer, right? So at some point this might become a real thing. However, unfortunately, this new powerful battery, which may bring like 1,000 kilometers of range, actually is really expensive, maybe as expensive as the entire car. So that renders such cars actually quite unattractive, right? Because who's buying, let's say, an ET5 with a battery that costs the same amount as an ET5? No one will, or maybe a couple of people will, but not enough. So this is where hello, yeah. 我会说一点。Anyways, so this is where NIO comes in, because they can actually leverage the battery swapping in this regard, because they can actually rent the battery into the hands of new consumers bit by bit, use case by use case. And that's because, of course, you can always opt to upgrade your current battery and use a different battery whenever you need it. Let's say you want to go on a long journey trip where you don't want to switch the battery. Then, of course, you can go to a battery swap station, get this ultimate battery here, and use it, let's say, for a 10 hours trip, who knows, and then you only use it for that trip and pay, let's say, a premium fee for it, because it's giving you a premium experience, and also ultimately a way where you don't have to replenish power during your trip, right? And with that, seeing it as an ecosystem, NIO can gradually introduce new technology that's initially expensive into the market, because the cost for it will be shared over a range of different users. And this way, battery swapping becomes a unique advantage, because others can certainly, which are selling the car to one end consumer with one battery, they cannot compete on this. They have no way of introducing such expensive technology the same way that NIO is doing it. And this is where it's getting interesting, because this is giving NIO then suddenly a cost advantage in a new technology, and helping them to driving down the cost fast, and becoming possibly the leader in a new way of producing batteries. So I think that's actually quite smart, and maybe something that not many people are talking about, or maybe they're just talking about the negative aspects, which is like that hybrid solid-state batteries are not a thing yet. They're not a consumer product, they're not reliable, they're not mass-produced, they are still expensive. Yes, all of this is true, but maybe NIO holds the key in its hands, in its company's patents hands, technologies and ecosystem and infrastructure to unlock all of this. Who knows? That's a bit of a spontaneous video here from Shenzhen. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video, and subscribe, and consider becoming a patron to support us. And yeah, I'm now enjoying Shenzhen. See you guys.